Hello, Sakshi. Sakshi, I've sent you the link or the invite for joining the session. Mm,
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Hi,
Am I
Sakshi. How are
audible?
you?
Am I
Yes.
audible? Great.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great as well. Just give me a second.
Yes, please. Are we gonna save the live?
Yes, yes.
Great.
Is it better? My voice and my video, is it coming back good?
Your video is completely clear. Your voice is just a little bit lagging, but other than that, everything is perfect.
Okay. Okay. So, hi everyone. Welcome to another heart-centered conversation from Ciliopra. If you are new here, Ciliopra is a safe space where we believe that every worry, fear, or insecurity deserves to be heard without the judgment. We are a community of listeners, mental health advocates, professionals, and everyday people who are just trying to figure it all out together. So, through listening sessions, export sessions, and our Silly Opera Lives, are a campaign, a part of the campaign, we aim to remind you that your voice matters. And today we are diving into a topic that touches all of us, and that is boundaries, how to set them, communicate them, and most importantly, how to honor them without guilt. So we are joined today for this session. I'm so grateful to be joined by our guest, Sakshi Taneja, who is a certified NLP expert, CBT practitioner, and a pranic healer. Their approach beautifully blends science, energy, and compassion. And I cannot wait for the conversation to unfold. Hi, Sakshi.
Hi.
Would you like to take a minute to introduce yourself?
Yes, please. Why not? Hi, everyone. I am Sakshi. I am a certified NLP practitioner, pranic healer, and a certified play therapist. I work with neurodivergent and neurotypical ages, across genres. And today, her and me, we are going to be together, hosting together, and we welcome a lot of happening questions from you, and we would like you to keep it as interactive as possible. I am all ears for your questions. It's a community of people welcoming listening and empathy. We both are here to listen to your doubts, your questions, anything you can add to the conversation. We will hear.
Thank you, Sakshi. So energetic from the very starting.
Yes.
So let's get into it. And for everyone watching, like Sakshi said, feel free to drop your thoughts, your questions in the comments below, and we will try to take them in between if time allows, or maybe afterwards as well.
Perfect.
Let's start with something so many of us feel and don't talk about. And so this is the first question that feels really related to when we talk about boundaries. So even when I was starting with the concept of boundaries, how to start it, how to work around it. So I was also feeling the same. So why do so many people feel guilty when they set boundaries?
Okay.
Sakshi, can you help us understand that?
Yes, yes, yes. When you're talking about guilt as an emotion, guilt का मतलब क्या होता है? Feeling that you have done something wrong. As an
Correct.
Indian society, as what our thinking is conditioned and the beliefs that are built in us, choosing ourselves first before others make us feel guilty.
Yes. Yes.
मतलब मुझे पूरी दुनिया में खुद को चूज करना, choosing myself first as a priority is a guilt. That is what boundary setting is doing to you. जब आप बाउंड्री सेट कर रहे हो दैट मीन्स you're choosing yourself, you're choosing your safety, you're choosing your protection as a Maslow's need. उसमें अगर हमें गिल्ट हो रहा है सो डू यू रियली थिंक कि हम नीचे की नीड्स या अपना सेल्फ अचीव कर चुके हैं, दैट सेल्फ एस्टीम, दैट सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, दैट सेल्फ वर्थ. दो ये जो वर्ड्स हैं सेल्फ एस्टीम, सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, सेल्फ वर्थ आर सेल्फ ओरिएंटेड. बट इफ यू
Correct.
से एंड इफ यू सी ये टर्म्स वी आर अदर्स डिफाइंड. लोग हमें कैसा देखते हैं, व्हाट विल दे थिंक अबाउट अस, व्हाट विल दे फील अबाउट. इट्स नॉट कि हम अपनी नजरों में कहाँ स्टैंड होते हैं. It's more about how the other person is going to portray us or picture us. That's where the guilt is coming from. The guilt is when I'm choosing someone else before me, and the guilt is, am I not enough? Am I not worthy enough that I can't even choose myself before the other person?
Yeah, you are right. I think the first thought that comes into our mind is um, if they are going to, perceive us as unkind. So this is one of the major things that comes into your mind, even if you don't know the concept of other things like worthy or not, confidence or unconfident. If you don't even think about that, but this is something that we have learned from the very beginning, from the childhood, that you have to be kind. You have to be kind to everyone around you. So I think
Even if people, if they don't know us on the road, we are still like, how will they portray? यार आइसक्रीम खाने जा रहे पजामा पहन के जाते, शॉर्ट्स पहन के नहीं जाते. अरे यार थोड़ा सा कंसीलर लगा लेते हैं, अभी अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. अरे बाल कोम कर लेते हैं. Even if you're not in the state to. If you're talking about clients who are depressed or sad, they are forcing themselves to just groom enough. लोग क्या कहेंगे?
hmm,
There's a facade, there's a constant facade. We are a completely different personality we're trying to show to others, which जो हमें खुद acceptable नहीं है खुद से. We are not okay with that. We are not comfortable with that. We have not accepted or acknowledged that. But for the world, it's a different energy we are portraying.
you are right. I think this is also when we start, uh, when we have to start saying no. So that is the first step we do for ourselves, and still it takes a long time when we accept it, that no, right now I have to say no because it is not going anywhere. So
I
like
completely agree.
guilt starts from there itself.
Guilt starts from choosing yourself over others.
So does it changes for how much guilt we feel for a stranger, or how much boundary we can set with a stranger, and how much boundary we can set with a loved one?
Okay. With the stranger and with the loved one. Loved one के साथ it becomes more like I want to do this. अगर मैं इसको need और want पे divide करूँ, I want to do this with the loved one. I
Hmm.
push my limits. I create a facade. I want to be likable.
Hmm.
For strangers, do I need to? Is the question. I will ask myself a question, do I need to? The answer will decide my response to that, my reaction. If I need to be presentable, if I need to be liked, if I need to be wanted, if, for example, how the groups formed, I want to be a part of it. Either I will be a part of a group. I want to be a part of this collaboration. I'm here because I want to. Do I need to or not depends upon how much affinity or what my goal is.
Correct.
Agenda.
Hmm. That is very deep rooted. I think that makes so much sense. Uh, Also, the type of guilt we feel, and also how much it impacts us. That is also different when we are talking about setting boundaries with strangers or setting boundaries with our loved ones. So
Exactly.
I think that makes more sense when you said you have to decide if it's something you want to do or if it is something you need to do. Yeah, I think I'm settling the thoughts inside. Um, I think also there is one more thing when we are talking about setting boundaries with our loved ones. So there is one more term that comes in that is about responsibility.
Okay.
So it like we feel very responsible for doing something for someone, and we also kind of feel if we did not do that, we might disappoint them. So is it okay, where is that threshold should be put, where we want to do certain things, and at what cost of our peace.
Okay. If I hear you right, do you see there that there's an underlying subconscious belief? If I give,
Mhm.
I will receive. That's
uh,
where that is playing. If I will give, then only I will receive. We think we are not deserving enough.
hmm.
We think we are not worthy enough. I will only receive love if I give love. I will only get gifts if I give gifts. I will only get appreciations and credit if I give credit. So it feels like it becomes a very earning. You have to earn it. Like, why? Are you not deserving? Are you not enough? Are you not capable? Why everything, even a basic thing or a basic generosity, basic kindness, or humanity for that matter, becomes a matter of I have to earn it. I have to earn to be treated right. Species as animals, they have their territory. That's their
Hmm.
way of forming a boundary. Why do we have to form a boundary? We are earning our boundaries.
So, when we are talking about it, obviously it feels when you're talking, it does feel like it is something we are talking about when we are doing something out of force, right?
Hmm.
We are doing it for someone out of responsibility. There can be a level of responsibility, but it can't be very forced.
Yes.
So
The
there can be like.
responsibility is taken or the responsibility is given. There's a difference. If the responsibility is taken by choice, I would want to do it. If the responsibility is given, then it's forceful. Then a lot more anxiety, a lot more fatigue, a lot more guilt, all those negative connotations will add on. The responsibility is given or the responsibility is taken.
So it becomes very easier for, younger generation to set boundaries when I see, but it becomes very difficult for, say, in a relationship like a mother and a son, mother and their children. So there the boundary, if the mother sets a boundary, how is she perceived, and even though she's not thinking about how am I going to be perceived, but she's doing that selflessly. So but even at that point of time, it is very, it seems harmless for children, but it might be working beneath the borders, like something that is eating away her self-worth, her self-respect as well at a certain point. So is it there, like do you see some clients coming to you as mothers, and does it affect her as well, or selflessness just comes with her motherhood?
No, not just with the mother. There are a lot. Mother does not come that somebody you have given birth from your womb. The mother
Hmm.
aspect is we are very motherly in nature. Women are very motherly in nature. That motherly instinct we talk about, it can be in the father also. It's mother is equal to nurturing. Mother is
Yeah.
equal to selfless and unconditional love. Mother is no if and buts, no question asked love. So when you're talking about a motherly instinct, when you're talking about here the guilt related to setting boundaries here, um, as a mother, a lot of stereotypical pattern and a stereotypical ways of behavior.
Am I connected back?
Yes, you are.
Oh, sorry. So,
No, I was
so
saying
I
that as a mother, a lot of stereotypical thinking and a stereotypical behaviors and a stereotypical expectations are underlying.
yes.
For example, if a client is coming to my clinic, जितनी देर उनका बच्चा therapy ले रहा है, उतनी देर she decided to go gym and help herself. Why are people giving her that looks? क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने आप को
Hmm.
choose कर लिया.
Exactly my point. Like, why we perceive like mothers as someone who should be, selfless at all times, without thinking about her. So once she start thinking about her, or even one thought comes to her mind, she herself kind of feels like I shouldn't.
Yeah, because that's the typical thinking, that's the stereotypes, that's the taboo, that's our conditions. There are certain belief systems we are born with. इस घर का बच्चा ऐसे ही होगा, हमारे घर में तो ऐसे ही होता है, हमारे घर तो यार एज स्मॉल एज हर इंसान के घर की सब्जी का टेस्ट अलग होता है, सेम सब्जी का. ये तो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट संस्कार, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट बिहेवियरल पैटर्न्स, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्सपेक्टेशंस. वर्किंग मदर ऐसी ही होती है,
Hmm.
हाउसवाइफ्स ऐसे ही बिहेव करती हैं, गांव के लोग ऐसे ही कपड़े पहनेंगे. हु इज डिसाइडिंग दैट? ये ऊपर से आ रहा है ना, ये हमने हमने जो ये कैटेगरी बिल्ड कर ली, हमने कैटेगरी जो बिल्ड कर ली, हमने जो एक स्टीरियोटाइप बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, हम उसी के हिसाब से वी आर फंक्शनिंग, हम उसी के हिसाब से वी आर वर्किंग. दैट इज अ बाउंड्री, एन इनविजिबल बाउंड्री से हम ऑलरेडी एट ऑल टाइम्स टाइड है. अब वो बाउंड्री कितनी ब्रीच करनी है, उसकी बैंडविड्थ कितनी बढ़ानी है, कितनी छोटी करनी है, डिपेंड्स अपॉन द इंडिविजुअल. इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स अपॉन द सपोर्टिव एनवायरनमेंट.
True. Very
How
true.
rigid and how loose are your boundaries? And when I'm talking about boundary, बाउंड्री का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि मेरे को सामने वाले को कितना अंदर आने देना है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट अ प्रोटेक्टिव शील्ड. बाउंड्री का मतलब ये भी होता है कि वो मुझे कितनी क्रॉस करनी है. इट्स अ
So
टू
true.
वे प्रोसेस.
Yeah, so
वी
true.
ऑलवेज से कि हम बाउंड्री डालते हैं कि हमें खुद को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, कि कोई हमें कितना टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड ले सकता है. बट वेयर बाउंड्री का मतलब ये भी है कि मैं वो बाउंड्री, वो परमिएबिलिटी मैंने कितनी रखी हुई है, मैं कितना ब्रीच कर सकती हूँ, कितनी बारी मैं ब्रीच करना चाहती हूँ. I have to at all times at least have a safety net or a window open in that boundary that I can cross. लक्ष्मण रेखा नहीं है मेरी
Yes.
प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, बट अगर मेरी नीड है आई हैव टू ब्रीच इट. वो मेरी ग्रोथ रोक रहे हैं, देन दैट बाउंड्री इज वेस्ट फॉर मी. अगर
So
उसने
true.
मुझे एंटैंगल कर दिया, उसने मुझे बांध दिया, बाउंड्री मेरी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए थी, मेरी ग्रोथ रोकने के लिए कभी थी ही नहीं.
Such a deep thought. I think that also answers my next question that was around this, Mundi, that how people should know that, oh, it is my boundaries too rigid or too loose. You have already answered that.
If it's
Uh,
stopping your growth, then it is too rigid. If you're not
yes.
able to be disciplined and consistent in that, it's too flexible because it's not
Hmm.
leading you anywhere. It's neither protecting you or it's not making you evolve. It's not leading anywhere. It's just a
Yes.
concept you're following at your whims and whimsicals.
So true. I think that is also, how we want to perceive ourselves in future, and depending on that, if we can, set or reset our boundaries whenever needed. It is very much right to do so.
It starts with me. It is my boundary.
Yes.
It is my boundary. I will decide when I want to breach it or not. My sleeping time is 9. But someday I don't want to sleep till 11. It's my boundary.
Exactly. Yes. Like, and also it also changes from the idea of, a person has to be too disciplined to be worthy of something. So that is also, very, very rigid thought, and it should be not seen as something to be restrictive of yourself. So true. I think that is a very nice thought that you put very lightly, I think, in the conversation, but it is something that everyone should take away from the session. Amazing. So also one more thing that since we have already come across a lot of about boundaries, but some people still struggle with, recognizing when they need to set the boundaries. So yes, of course, if something is restricting you, you are crossing your boundaries, that you very well said. But when to put your boundaries strong with someone when they are trying to, reach it. So how to do that?
Okay. There's a very slight difference in the word being assertive or being aggressive.
Yes, yes,
When you're
yes. So
putting your boundaries, you have to be assertive, not aggressive.
yes.
Aggression will make you aloof. Aggression is going to push the other person out. And at the end of the day, man is a social being.
Hmm. True. I think that is also something that we need to break it down, because many people do not understand the difference between the two, being assertive and being rude or aggressive. So how can we differentiate between these two when we are setting our boundaries?
Okay. There's not much difference. There's a really slight difference, and but that difference is remarkable. When you're talking being assertive, on a non-verbal level, your body language,
Yes.
on a verbal language, your tone and clarity of your command, clarity of your whims, clarity. I don't like it, yeah. Please don't do it.
Hmm.
आज कर दिया कोई बात नहीं अगली बार मत करना मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता. It's like a narration.
Hmm.
Whereas aggressive, walking out, pushing the other person, raising the pitch, physical abuses, verbal abuses, lashing out, and you will realize कि ये सारी चीजें स्टार्ट ही यही होती है बिकॉज यू आर पुटिंग बैंडेज. बाउंड्री कभी भी बीच में नहीं लगाई जाती. जब आप कोई
Hmm.
गेम खेलते हो रूल्स आर सेट एट द फर्स्ट. आप बीच में रूल नहीं चेंज करते.
Nice. I think that is something you are saying so many things for people to get away with the session, but very lightly, like in a conversation. How to highlight that? So yeah, I think that is very great thing to say. Like from the very beginning, we have to set our boundaries in front of every communication or every relationship, so that in between also you can, go back to the rules, but these were the things that were non-negotiable, and I cannot let it go.
हम बिकॉज जब हम रिलेशनशिप में होते हैं इट कुड बी एनी काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप द इनिशियल बाउंडेशंस यू आर नोइंग द अदर पर्सन बाउंड्री इज माय लिमिटेशन. Boundaries,
Yes.
I'm putting my weaknesses out there, and there are certain things that are no touch go for the other person. वो सिर्फ मेरे लिए. That is my keepsake box. अगर वो
Hmm.
मैंने शुरू में ही बता दिया ब्रीच ऑफ बाउंड्री तो कभी आएगा ही नहीं ना. एंड अगर
Hmm.
ब्रीच ऑफ बाउंड्री आता है यू नो दैट यू आर नॉट रिस्पेक्टेड.
Yes, and you know what to expect from that relationship also.
Exactly. If the expectations are clear, the boundaries are clear, the communication is clear, I don't think बाद में कुछ इतना बड़ा hazardous कोई डिसीजन होगा जो हम ठीक नहीं कर सकते. बिकॉज उस टाइम पे जब वो अगर वो ब्रीच भी करे द अदर पर्सन इज ब्रीचिंग योर बाउंड्री यू कैन स्लाइटली पिन पॉइंट हे वी अग्रीड ऑन समथिंग. It will act as a reminder, not a reaction. Reaction is aggression. Reminder and clearing the rules aside and explicitly said at the starting of relationship assertiveness. Okay, this is what I can do. मुझे किसी चीज से एलर्जी है तो मैं वो नहीं कहेंगे वो नहीं करते ना ब्रीच. दे नो कि वो इसकी बाउंड्री है. व्हाई नॉट विद बिहेवियर कि फिजिकल इतना है इमोशनल इतना है मेंटल इतना है. कि मुझे कंधा चाहिए होता है। सो वो बंदा कंधा देने लायक होगा तो रिलेशनशिप में आओ, अगर कंधा नहीं दे सकते पहले ही बता दो ना, मैं डिपेंड ही नहीं होंगी। फिर बैंड में वो पूरा रूप द टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप हो गया, ये हो गया, क्यों करना, पहले ही बता दो नहीं दे सकता, ठीक है।
Hmm. But that is something that someone who knows boundaries from the very beginning, correct? Some people
हम्म,
might be starting with the concept right now. So
ओके।
they might have some relationships with them right now, but they never had that clear boundaries till now, but now they want to, communicate those things. So how can they start working on that?
Boundaries can be at many levels: physical, emotional, mental, financial. Put one boundary at a time. Don't overload the other person at this point. And you can't
Hmm.
be aggressive and reactive. आप expect नहीं कर सकते. डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट जब करी जाती है वो पहले करी जाती है, बाद में बैंडेज लगाई जाती है. So
Hmm.
at this point, if somebody reacts, it's like a putting a bandage to the wound in the relationship. जब आप डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट करते हो या जब भी हम कोविड ड्रिल्स हुई थी, कोई भी अर्थक्वेक ड्रिल्स होती हैं स्कूल में, वो पहले होती हैं. उसके बाद सिर्फ आप मैनेजमेंट करके बैंडेड लगा रहे होते हो, सिचुएशन को छुपा रहे होते हो, कवर अप कर रहे हो. द हार्म हैज ऑलरेडी बीन डन, द इंजरी इज देयर. How much it's gonna leave a scar is completely depending upon you, because you have to be flexible and you have to be from this point be self aware कि oh shit मुझे भी नहीं पता था कि मुझे ये चीज बॉदर करती है.
Hmm.
Self aware, self acceptance, communicate, take space, realign, because it's a new concept for you also.
Yeah.
तो आपकी अवेयरनेस में आया, आपने उसको एक्सेप्ट किया,
True.
आपने उसको सामने वाले को कम्युनिकेट किया. यू टुक अ स्पेस एंड ब्रीदर फॉर योर सेल्फ, क्योंकि आपने उसको कम्युनिकेट भी किया लेकिन आपको भी अभी अभी डिस्कवरी हुई है आपके बारे में. Realign, enter back into the situation.
True, true. I think that is very clear path to do that. But yes, people are still struggling through these things. And one of the major thing is, many times in our life, it happens that you are deeply connected with someone, and it can also come from your childhood trauma or something like that, right? So how does your past, your emotional self, your past also affect these kind of ability to assert your boundaries to, like we mentioned that you have to communicate it to the other person, but some people have some lag backs on doing that to assert those boundaries. So does past emotional self, does it affect it, and how does it affect it, and how to overcome it?
A complete 100% it affects. When you're talking about past, there's a loop running. And if it's a circle, it's a loop. There is no start and end point. You can't find it.
Mm.
And our brain, good or bad for us, always tries to make groups, always tries to form generalizations. क्योंकि आप हर नया एक्सपीरियंस को वो नए फोल्डर में अपने दिमाग में डालता रहेगा तो वी आर गोना बी ओवरबर्डन.
Okay.
Whereas वो क्या करता है, उसको कैटेगरीज में डालने की कोशिश करता है. अगर आप वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट चाइल्डहुड, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पास्ट ट्रॉमास, एक चीज इन योर पास्ट हैज वर्कड, योर ब्रेन जनरलाइजेस ये तो हमेशा ही काम करेगी.
Okay.
एंड इफ इट डजंट, इट विल लाइक ये तो कभी काम नहीं करती मेरे लिए. इट्स लाइक ओवर जनरलाइजेशन एंड अंडर जनरलाइजेशन. If it's
Okay.
constantly happening and it's a loop, it's a circle, you can't find the start point and end point. तो मैं अगर किसी का पास्ट ट्रॉमा जाके निकालती हूँ या कुछ भी निकालती हूँ, मैं उसमें तो कुछ कर ही नहीं सकती. I can just add a pause and give a prompt there,
Hmm.
a question to think about. जुकाम, बुखार, कोविड, डायरिया, टाइफाइड, सब में बुखार होता है. ये सारे सेम होते हैं क्या? फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड इट लुक्स सेम. इंटरनली तो ब्रेन सिर्फ ग्रुप कर रहा है वो चीजें, क्योंकि अगर वो ग्रुप नहीं करेगा हर एक नई मेमोरी को सेट करने के लिए ओवरवेल्म रहेंगे. वी विल बी एंग्शियस एट ऑल टाइम्स.
True.
अगर कोई मेमोरी फिल्ड होने में या कोई ट्रॉमा बनने में एक बारी में ट्रॉमा नहीं बनता. रिपीटेड एक्सपोजर्स, कंसिस्टेंसी इज द की. वो सेम चीज एक आप नया थॉट या एक नया प्रोब डाल दोगे, उसको आप कंसिस्टेंटली अफर्म भी करने लग जाओगे. यू हैव अ कॉन्ट्रोडिक्टरी थॉट देयर. We are logical also. That's why we are humans.
Yeah, true. Again, true for most of the people, but some experiences do leave you with certain, uncertainties that you do not want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, of course, the suggestion would be to go to a professional and get
You don't have
things
to
sorted
deal with
out.
at all times, na? Brain or our body or our behavior is not requiring dealing.
Yeah.
Acceptance मांग रहा है. Solution तो कोई मांग ही नहीं रहा.
Okay.
Solution कौन मांग रहा है? Even as a therapist, I do not have all the solutions. I will never have all the solutions.
Hmm.
No matter even if I do my PhD. I have a 25-30 year experience, still I will not have all the solutions. We are not dealing with rats and guinea pigs. These are humans. सेम इमोशन एक इंसान इंटेंसिटी सिम्टम हर तरीके से शो डिफरेंटली शो कर रहा है. नो टू पीपल आर लाइक. नॉट इवन आइडेंटिकल ट्विंस आर लाइक.
Hmm.
सो सोल्यूशन तो हम मांग ही नहीं रहे. योर बॉडी और माइंड इज रिक्वायरिंग एक्नॉलेज एंड एक्सेप्टेंस. वी ऑल वांट टू बी एक्सेप्टेड. दैट्स द बेस लाइन. एक्सेप्टेंस आगे सोल्यूशन तो हम खुद ढूंढ सकते हैं. अभी तक तो द फाइट इज ऑल अबाउट द एक्सेप्टेंस एंड एक्नॉलेजमेंट. द पास्ट ट्रॉमा इनसाइड यू और जो डील नहीं कर पा रहे एंड वी वांट टू एस्केप, एक्सेप्टेंस ही तो मांग रहे हैं. आप उसको छुपाए जा रहे हो, आप उससे भागे जा रहे हो. जब तक आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं करोगे, वो इट्स गोना लिंगर अराउंड फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ. वंस योर थॉट इज एक्नॉलेज्ड, इट विल स्टॉप हर्टिंग यू.
True. So true. And I think that is something everyone needs to hear, that most of our problems will be solved if we start acknowledging ourselves as who we are, and we start to validate our own experiences, our own choices, so that we can move on with our lives if if we are stuck in a loop. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense now. So yeah, I think when we are talking about all of these things, people are facing certain situations where the boundaries are getting violated, right? You said for once, of course, we can give them a gentle reminder that these are the things that are not accepted in
Hmm.
my boundaries or in my life. So what would be the next step, like if someone is keep breaching your boundaries in a different manner, like every time there is a different level of uh, style or how they are doing it, starting from uh, mocking it or starting from disrespecting it straight away, like with being rude. So how to deal with that differently?
You want to be a part of it or not? First choice.
Okay.
If it's raining, I want to stand in the rain, have an umbrella, go inside. It's a complete choice.
Hmm.
You can't always blame the other person. Maybe the other person is like that and you got to know it right now.
Hmm.
When I'm talking about acceptance about oneself, I'm also talking about acceptance of the other person. सामने वाला भी तो बोल सकता है मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ. Now what?
Exactly, that was my point, that when we are talking about it, we are, usually it happens that the other person is very sarcastic or very, everything he takes or she takes in a very joking manner, but it can't be a joke for the other person. So for that other person, how to deal with that? Because it sometimes happen that you cannot just break the relationship outright. It can't be something like you can break, like for example, it might be your very close family, or it can be a work relationship where you can't have the bad relationship there. So how to deal with that?
हर एड और हर प्रोडक्ट के नीचे एस्ट्रिक होता है, टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस. How much are you willing to, how much part of you're willing to let go of those terms and conditions, and how much part you're okay with?
True.
If you're aware of your boundary and when it's constantly a nagging point for you, it's hurting you so much. The person is important or hurt is important. If I'm not important to myself and I'm okay with being hurt, a lot of domestic abusive relationship, a lot of elder relationships, you will see कि हमारा आदमी तो था ही ऐसा, हमें तो आदत हो गई है, and they will not leave their partner, they will not
Hmm.
do divorce. So they have made peace with it कि I will choose the other person or I will choose the relationship before me. Again, once they have accepted the situation as it is not hurting them. They're okay. पिट के सब कुछ वो they're okay with it. But that comes with acceptance. So in the relationship you are right now, the other person is important, you are important, the emotion is important, make a choice. Life में कभी भी कुछ भी force नहीं होता. Everything in life is a choice. Something which is a good choice for you could be a bad choice for the other person. So you choose. You're choosing yourself, you're choosing the relationship, you're choosing the emotion, you're choosing the bond. It's a choice. You always and at all times have the option to go off. कोई जबरदस्ती बांध के नहीं रख रहा आपको. And if you chose to stay in that relationship, I'm sorry, you do not have the right to complain because it's a choice.
I think I get your point. I think also when we are talking about it, from what you were saying, we always have the second choice as well in our hand. And at any point, we can have that second choice taken if we do not want to regret it later. Right. So I think that gives a very clear answer to how to choose for yourself. It is all dependent on you. If you want to choose option A or option B or
It's
C or
always
D.
a choice. You want to portray yourself as a victim or you want to take charge of the control of the situation. It's always a choice.
So true. I can't even say any second thing because I'm totally aligned on that. That is also my life's motto that when you are you are choosing something, then stick with it or don't regret with it. And even at certain point, you want to choose option B, you always have that. So I think
We go
very.
to an ice cream parlor. There are so many flavors. This world is not small. हम ऐसे cocoon में रह नहीं रहे. आइसक्रीम जो खरीदी है पैसे कम है तो भाई खा लो नहीं अच्छी लग रही पैसे ज्यादा तो फेंको और दूसरा फ्लेवर लो खा
And
भी रहे हो
accept
क्रिप भी
यार
कर रहे हो
पैसे कम थे and accept that कि पैसे कम थे तो चॉइस वही थी.
कम थे भाई थे जितना है उतने में कर लो और अगर नहीं लगता कि यू आर नॉट फ्लेक्सिबल इनफ और नहीं लगता कि यू कैन डील एंड यू आर सेंसिटिव इनफ तो मत लो ना वो चॉइस मत खाओ उस दिन आइसक्रीम यार घर पे बर्फ खा लो चुस्की खा लो मत खाना उस दिन मत जाना ज्ञानी मत जाना नेचुरल्स हैव मोर खा लो
Very witty answer, to be honest. So yeah, I think that is one thing, and also one more thing. I think we skipped around this one part where we
Okay.
were talking about dealing with boundaries and how to communicate those things. Uh, and if someone is breaching that, and you are on the verge of losing your control, so how can we come back to ourselves or come back to our conscious mind? Are there any ways to use your do you suggest some of your pranic healing kind of tools or CBT tools that you suggest your clients with?
Okay. When you are in that situation and you have to come back, first I would really always suggest taking a pause
Hmm.
and hearing what your mind and heart is saying and not what the other person is saying. एक बारी के लिए अपनी सुनो पहले वो क्या चाह रहा है. So at times you have to choose yourself before the other person. At times, yeah, most times you should choose yourself before the other person. जब आप किसी भसड़ में हो, यू आर इन अ हसल, यू आर इन अ
Hmm.
सिचुएशन, it's not your thought most of the time. If I'm talking from an energetic perspective, a lot of times we're traveling in the metro and suddenly we're like घर आके चिड़चिड़ चिक चिक. It's not your thought. It's not your thought. शायद साइड वाला बैठ के अपने बॉयफ्रेंड से अपनी मम्मी से लड़ रहा था. And it just transferred.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of researches on it. As a psychology student, we have read a lot more researches on it. A lot of times it's not even your thought. I could be a very introvert person, but in my field I'm constantly extrovertedly talking to a lot of people. But घर जाके I'm like मेरा आज का हो गया, please मुझसे बात मत करो.
Yeah. The social battery goes down so much.
I am overwhelmed. I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm like, there's a personal life of mine and there's a professional life of mine, and a different personality traits and different qualities are required at different places. कहीं ना कहीं तो fatigue और anxiety आएगा.
Hmm.
110% आएगा, और वो आएगा भी इसलिए बिकॉज मैं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स बिकॉज ऑफ द डिमांड ऑफ द सिचुएशन वो कर रही हूँ जो मैं नहीं हूँ. तो बर्न आउट आएगा, फटीग आएगा, एंजाइटी आएगा. फटीग क्या होता है? अनइजीनेस. अनइजीनेस कब क्या होती है? व्हेन आई एम नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन डूइंग समथिंग. एंजाइटी क्या होती है? अननोन फियर, अननोन ड्रेड. क्यों आ रहा है? बिकॉज स्टेबिलिटी. एज ह्यूमन वी आर लुकिंग फॉर स्टेबिलिटी, वी आर लुकिंग फॉर सर्टेनिटी, बट लोकस ऑफ कंट्रोल एट ऑल टाइम्स हमारे पास नहीं है. The only locus of control of I have is myself. I will sit with myself. I like to sit with myself. There are days I will sit in a cafe and be with myself. Earphones लगाया, सीरीज लगाई. मुझे आज अपने साथ खाना खाना है. आज मुझे किसी और के साथ खाना नहीं खाना. उसको सुशी नहीं पसंद, मुझे सुशी खानी है. Sit with yourself. Be aware. What do you want?
Hmm.
किसी और को बताने से पहले तुम्हें खुद भी तो पता होना चाहिए तुम्हें क्या चाहिए. कम्युनिकेटिंग बाउंड्री इज नॉट जस्ट कम्युनिकेटिंग बाउंड्री. पहले अपने कम्युनिकेट तो तब करोगे ना जो चीज आपको पता है. जब हम लैंग्वेज की बात करते हैं, अगर मुझे पता ही नहीं एक्सप्रेशन कैसे करना है, मुझे पता ही नहीं मुझे क्या फील हो रहा है, मैं कम्युनिकेट क्या करूंगी? द बेस लाइन इज नो योर सेल्फ. क्लैश आई तब रहा है बिकॉज यू डोंट नो योर सेल्फ एंड somebody फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड कम एंड पिन पॉइंट की ओ ये तो ऐसी है, ओ ये तो ऐसा है. तब लग जाती है दिल पे. बोल कैसे दिया? लड़ाई हुई इसलिए रही है क्योंकि देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ब्लाइंड स्पॉट्स जो हमें नहीं दिख रहे. जो सामने वाला आपको पॉइंट कर देता है हमें बुरा लग जाता है. मम्मियों से लड़ाई क्यों होती है? इसीलिए ही होती है. हम देयर आर सर्टेन पार्ट ऑफ अस वी डोंट वांट टू सी, जो उन्हें दिख जाता है. कुड बी रियल, कुड नॉट बी रियल, कुड मैच. आपकी रियल सेल्फ और आइडल सेल्फ में कितना गैप है is equal to the number of thoughts you're gonna have. It's equal to the number of clashes you're gonna have. Is equal to the dissatisfaction and anxiety and guilt you're gonna have. If I am happy with myself, if I'm doing what I want, if I'm achieving what I want, दुनिया क्या कर रही है मुझे एक्चुअली फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. But if my baseline or if my comparative value is always the other person, वो तो locus of control में है ही नहीं. So I will always and at all times consistently be under pressure and anxious. मेरी तो बाउंड्री चेंज हो रही है ना. आई एम रनिंग इन अ रेस बट बार बार फिनिश लाइन आगे बढ़ जाती है.
Hmm.
उसका तो कोई सोल्यूशन ही नहीं है.
I think the only thing is if we start accepting the changes, we start accepting
वी
the
स्टार्ट
evolving.
अक्नॉलेजिंग फर्स्ट कि चेंज है, चेंज की
Hmm.
डिमांड है. फर्स्ट अक्नॉलेज. एक्सेप्टेंस तो बहुत बाद में आएगा. अक्नॉलेज ही नहीं करते. 80% ऑफ द टाइम डिनाइल. अरे नहीं है, चला जाएगा, अरे बाद में देख लेंगे. एस्केप डिनाइल रिप्रेशन, एस्केप डिनाइल रिप्रेशन, और कुछ चल ही नहीं रहा. एक्नॉलेज तो कर लो. भिखारी
And
भीख मांगने आता है,
also,
उसको एक्नॉलेज भी कर दो ना, उसके बाद भी वो चला जाता है कई बारी. मत दो उसे पैसे. आई कांटेक्ट भी करना चले नहीं है यार जा. Acknowledge. Acceptance बहुत बाद में आएगा. First acknowledge.
So true. Shivita is also asking a similar question when she is saying that obviously for people who are good with setting boundaries, they also, many of the times they are misunderstood, and some of the situations are there where the where there are boundary clashes. So one person have certain boundaries, another person have certain boundaries, and sometimes if even if someone is doing according to their own wishes or choices, it is crossing someone else. So how to deal with that kind of situation? How to acknowledge that respect for others' boundaries as
As we agreed upon, as we discussed at the starting of the boundary concept, कि boundary is not one-sided. मेरे को
well.
किसी को कितना अंदर आने देना is as equal as मैं कितना ब्रीच कर सकती हूँ. You cannot have rigid boundaries. वो आपकी ग्रोथ रोकेगा. In terms of career, in terms of relationships, in terms of finances, it is because it's too rigid. If you are choosing a certain amount of people, वो आपकी वो boundary enter कर सकते हैं और उनके लिए शायद you are gonna take that extra mile also. If my best friend calls me or my boyfriend calls me for a date, even after 20 sessions a day, I'm like, चल ठीक है यार, 1 घंटे के लिए आ जाती हूँ. वो बंदा या वो सिचुएशन मेरे लिए कितनी इम्पोर्टेंट है. It's not gonna look like a breach of boundary. It's not gonna cost me. It's not gonna feel burdened. I need to do it or I'm doing out of a choice. And respecting boundaries की अगर हम बात करें तो if we're expecting others to respect our boundaries, there's a certain code of conduct. There are certain unsaid rules. जो कोई बोलता नहीं है बट जो हम एनवायरनमेंट से परसीव करते हैं. मंदिर में चप्पल नहीं पहन के जाते, लाइब्रेरी में चुप रहते हैं, कैफे में चप्पल भी पहन के जाते हैं और चिल्लाते भी. ये कहीं लिखा नहीं होता. But you read the people, you read the environment. If you want to be heard, if you want to be perceived, be considerate.
True, very true. I think that will solve a lot of problem if we start being considerate about others' boundaries or
Perspective.
yeah, just being respectful. I think not even we need to have everything acknowledged about everyone else.
You don't
But at
have to
least,
agree to everybody at all times.
yeah.
I acknowledge it. मेरे को नहीं चलता यार ये. नहीं
True.
चलता. Communicate.
Again, वही रहता है like communication is the key, I think, for everything. And obviously, like you said, how you communicate, that is also very important in how to deal with things or situations. But yeah, I think a lot of problem will be solved if we know how to communicate each of everything of our life to someone we care about. And I think even if it is about boundaries, if it is about your needs, everything from A to Z.
Whatever boundary you've set might work with one person, might not work with another person. The way you keep switching your careers, the way you keep changing your companies, your professions, फाइनेंसेस. अगर मैं 2 लाख रुपए कमा रही हूँ तो मैं 5 का एम करूंगी. मैं अपनी बाउंड्री अगर इतनी रिजिड रखूंगी तो मैं 5 कभी नहीं अचीव कर पाऊंगी. नहीं, आई हैव टू बी इसी कंपनी में रहना है और उसी टाइम के बाद वो कंपनी थोड़े टाइम बाद वही टॉक्सिक हो जाती है. क्यों? क्या बदल गया? यू ग्रू.
Yeah.
यू आर अ पॉट, यू आर अ प्लांट इन अ पॉट. अब रूट्स बढ़ गई तो थोड़ा मूव करो ना. रिलेशनशिप 3 महीने से 6 महीने पे आ गया तो बाउंड्री थोड़ा तो एक्सपैंड करो. उसको अंदर आने दो या खुद बाहर ज्यादा जाओ. You cannot be very rigid with your boundaries. The mismatch of boundary is not a problem. It is 100% going to be there because man is a social being. No two people are alike. But how close, how similar the boundary is, how well you fit into each other, बराबर होना जरूरी नहीं होता at times. We could fit into each other.
True. I think also Shivalita is agreeing with it. Um, yeah, everything we have talked about was, people who already know about these things, or
Yes.
they have the ability to understand these things, right? But for new mothers, or for parents, for elder siblings, for them, how do they teach their younger siblings or their children about how to set boundaries, or at least the concept of boundaries from the very young self? Is
Okay.
there a way, like even a small tip that you can share?
110%, 110% there is a way. I deal with 2 year olds. वहां पे भी बाउंड्री सेटिंग करनी पड़ती है। मैम आपके साथ कर लेता है, हमारे साथ नहीं करता। मैंने कहा मैं भी तो वही करा रही हूँ।
Hmm.
बिकॉज मैंने आते ही फर्स्ट सेशन में बाउंड्री बना दी। एज साइकोलॉजिस्ट वी आर नॉट जस्ट मेकिंग रैपो, वी आर ऑल्सो मेकिंग बाउंड्रीज। भाई यहाँ इतना करना पड़ेगा।
True. Very true.
अगर 2 साल वाला भी बाउंड्री समझ रहा है और उसको भी इतनी अक्ल है कि मुझे किसी को कैसे चलाना है, मैं मम्मी को चला सकता हूँ, या मम्मी जब धमकी देती है कि पापा को रात को बताऊंगी, तो तुम सही हो जाते हो। तुम्हें पता है
Hmm.
स्कूल में कैसे बिहेव करना है। स्कूल में तुम टिफिन खत्म करके आ रहे हो, घर आते ही जूते यहाँ, बैग यहाँ, बॉटल यहाँ। उसको भी पता है बाउंड्री क्या है।
Hmm.
Awareness of boundary and clear communication could be in multiple ways. It could be self-talk, it could be parallel talk, it could be constantly narrations, role plays. पेरेंट अगर एक दूसरे की बाउंड्री रिस्पेक्ट करना है, ओ मम्मा काम कर रही है, मम्मा ने पापा को बोल दिया प्लीज ये कर दो ना, दो इट डज नॉट फिट इनटू पापा रोल, बट पापा ने कर दिया आउट ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट। या मम्मा ने बोला कि प्लीज मेरे सर में दर्द हो रहा है, म्यूजिक कम कर लो, दैट इज ऑल्सो रिस्पेक्टिंग बाउंड्री। सो बच्चा नोज एंड सीइंग फ्रॉम ऑब्जर्वेशन की मम्मा के सर में दर्द होता है तो पापा वॉल्यूम कम कर लेते हैं। तो दैट पर्सन और द चाइल्ड विल कीप अ सेल्फ चेक।
Hmm.
रोल प्लेज, बी गुड रोल मॉडल्स फॉर योर चाइल्ड एंड कॉन्स्टेंटली नरेट। आप एज पेरेंट्स हम अपने बच्चे की हर एक चीज सहन करते रहते हैं, अरे कोई बात नहीं बच्चा है, अरे कोई बात नहीं बच्चा है। तुम्हारे साथ वो बीच ऑफ बाउंड्री कर सकता है, लेकिन बाहर जाके स्कूल में जो वही करके आते हैं वो टीचर करती है। घर पे तुमने उसे वो एक्सेप्टेंस दे दी, उसने बाहर जाके वो जनरलाइज कर दी। तो जब आप बाउंड्री बना रहे हो, या अगर आप घर पे नहीं कर रहे, पता है यहाँ कर सकते हो, बाहर जाके नहीं कर सकते। हगिंग एंड किसिंग, मदर्स किस देयर किड्स ऑन द क्लिप्स। अब वो मेरे से कड़ली होते हैं तो करके आ जाएंगे, आई एम लाइक ओनली विद मम्मा,
Hmm.
दीदी के साथ ओनली हगी। बाउंड्री, बच्चा है वो हर चीज जनरलाइज कर रहा है। वो बाउंड्री के नीचे जो एस्ट्रिक है, वो एस्ट्रिक साइड बाय साइड बताते हुए चलो।
True. I think that is also in Indian culture, one thing that we always, start with telling children about boundaries is one thing that is common. Like even if other boundaries are not directly set or not, we always are very considerate about, not using abusive words around children. So that is one way of
In
thinking. Like,
Indian culture, we are not setting boundaries is the point. We are just suppressing the needs and aspirations and wishes.
Mhm.
No. The first word of a child is no before a yes. Why? Because that's what the child has heard. नो नो नो, मैम नो बोल देता है, यस नहीं बोलता। मैंने कहा आप क्या बोलते हो उसे, हर चीज में तो नो बोलते हो, यस कैसे बोलेगा। सो नो, आप नो बोल रहे हो, आप बाउंड्री नहीं सिखा रहे। आई हैव अ सर्टेन सर्ज ऑफ एनर्जी एंड समबडी कम्स एंड टेल्स मी नो, मैं रुक गई, लेकिन उस एनर्जी का क्या करूं, उस
True.
एनर्जी का क्या करूं। बाउंड्री वहीं तो काम आएगी। यू कैन डू दिस ओनली देन, you can do this at night, you can do this in 20 minutes, you can do this when we are in the car। बाउंड्री तो सेट करी ही नहीं, सप्रेस करी है। हम बाउंड्री सेट करते ही नहीं, हम सीधे शट डाउन मैकेनिज्म, मिशन अबॉर्ट।
Don't be forceful. I think also when you were saying about how to communicate those things, so is there a way for gently telling children that certain, sorry, uh, am I audible now? Hello.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Uh, am I audible now?
I can't hear. Give me like a minute. Ji, ma'am?
Hello.
Yeah, now I hear you. Yeah.
So I was just saying, like on an ending note, how do we, say something like communicate when we are communicating? Is there a particular tone or is there a particular kind of sentence how we form it towards children so that they understand that this is the boundary and we should respect that? So is there a way to
Okay.
do it?
Yes, there's 100% a way. First, always remember to set the boundary in the first session. बीच में बाउंड्री नहीं होती, आप बैंडेड लगाते हो. Secondly, जब आप बाउंड्री सेट कर रहे हो, always be the other bigger person and always encourage and involve.
Sorry.
I like telling your child or teaching your child boundaries. Mama doesn't like it. For example, you like Maggie, I don't like Maggie. Same way, you can like this, I don't like this. You like hitting, Mama does not like it. Involve emotions. आपको लगता है आपके बच्चे को इमोशन नहीं समझ में आ रहे, आपके बच्चे को सब समझ में आ रहा है. Involve perspectives, involve emotions. I don't like it because a lot of times you don't even have to add because. I don't like it. क्यों नहीं पसंद, क्यों नहीं पसंद. आपका बच्चे को फिर क्यों का आंसर नहीं मिलेगा, वो एजिटेटेड रहेगा. I don't like it. It is my boundary. मुझे नहीं पसंद. Let's not do it when we are together. We can do it later. And clearly communicating वो later कब आएगा? क्योंकि फिर आपने उसको डायरेक्शन दे दी. बहुत इजीली पेरेंट्स बोल देते हैं 5 मिनट बात कर लेना, 10 मिनट बात कर लेना. अरे 5 मिनट क्या होता है? थोड़ी समझ में आ रहा है 5 मिनट कब खत्म हो जाए. उसको क्लियरली बता दो ना. Be very concrete.
But that has to be a collective effort also, right?
I
Not
lost
just
your
one
voice
person.
again. Do I have you back?
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Just last thought, like when we are talking about it, when we are communicating the boundaries, we also have to have a collective effort from the whole family rather than just one person doing it, right?
Yes. It
So
has to be
yeah.
a collective effort, but you can't be accepted हर जगह ना.
Hmm.
फैमिली को तो आप बना लोगे, बाहर वाली दुनिया का क्या करोगे? Again, when you're talking about collective effort, always choose self before others. If you're not aware about yourself, you cannot communicate.
Yeah. No. I was just talking about when we are communicating or teaching the children about boundaries. So in that, as a whole family, we have to show the collective effort together rather than just one person or just one person showing the boundaries. Would it be like?
Start somewhere, na? Start somewhere. At least that
Hmm,
person or that kid will be aware कि बाउंड्री जैसा कुछ एग्जिस्ट करता है, ताकि बाद में कोई उसे कुछ ग्रिल करने की कोशिश करे तो उसे ऐसे इम्पाउंडिंग सा इम्पीडिंग सा ना लगे. तो कहीं
hmm,
सुना सुना है तो शायद he or she would be more open to it next time somebody brings that topic.
true. True. Yeah. I think we are also at the end of the session. Any last thoughts that you want to share with us?
Everything in life is a choice and will always be a choice.
So true. Some of the main things that you shared with us was one thing about choice, and another thing was about having that subconscious beliefs to be uh, rethought about. And one more thing that you were sharing, 3 steps about how to set boundaries, like the
Okay. Acknowledge, accept, communicate, pause, realign.
yeah. So acknowledge, accept, communicate, uh,
Pause,
pause
pause.
and pause and realize.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. 5 steps to go. Thank you so much, Sakshi.
Anytime. Thank you, Medha.
It was a great session. A lot to think about. A lot of wit and energy in this session, and also a I saw a very big spectrum of where we can teach or learn or acknowledge the boundaries from. So thank you so much for
Yes.
that.
Thank you,
Looking
Medha.
forward, looking forward for another session with you on any
Same here,
topic.
love. Same.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have a
Thank
great day.
you. Bye bye. You too.